Hey everybody, it's Carla with Karla's Clever Crafts. I'm hopping on here real quick today to do a bicycle spring/summer design. I think I'm going to need to turn this light off. I keep forgetting that. Okay, it's giving me a glare. Okay, so we're going to use this cute sign. I've got a couple little bicycles here that I picked up at the Dollar Tree that I'm going to be adding. All right, let me lay these to the side. I'm using a pine base this morning, or I guess it's probably afternoon now, to do this design. And this came from Walmart. I got this after Christmas clearance. Regular price of it was $5.98. It is a single, it does not have the double row or loop. It is a single. It was round. I did pull, like I just grabbed each side in the middle there and pulled to make it an oval shape. And then for the pine needles, I am just going through and I'm flattening them out, pushing half of them to the outside and half of them to the inside. And I'm going to add mesh first, and I'm going to do 2 rows of mesh. I'm going to do one on this outside loop and one on the inside here. And then depending on how full it is, I may add some zip ties to fill in the middle a little bit more, but I won't know until I get to that point. And I don't have my comments pulled up, so if anybody's on here and leaves me comments, I'm very sorry. My computer battery died and has not fully recharged yet, so I will definitely answer any questions after the live is over. Okay, so I think got my base just about ready, and I've just flattened them out because I just want all those pine needles laid out so that I can add my mesh to them. I'm going to use actually 4 different meshes. I'm going to have this really bright yellow and this really pretty blue. It's kind of like a turquoise, I guess you would call it. Both of these I got from bbcrafts.com. It's their value mesh. I think it's like $3 something a roll for those. And then I am going to use this pink. This is the wide weave mesh. And then I'm probably going to mix in a little bit of different pink. We'll see how much mesh we need when we get around it. And then I had cut these curls for another project. This is, let me see if I can show you better. This is like a spring mesh, and it's got multiple colors in it, pinks and blues and greens. I think this is also wide weave, like the pink that I showed you. The pink and this came from Craft Outlet. Okay, so that's the mesh that I'm going to be using. We'll just go ahead and get started. I'm going to do cruffles again, just because I like the protection that I get from those. It does take me a little bit longer to fill in my base by doing cruffles because the steps take a little longer, but I just like the quality and the protection that it gives to the mesh on my base. So to do a cruffle, I just make a curl on each end, turn it over, scrunch it down the middle, and squeeze the 2 sides together. It gives me what looks like a bow. I'm just going to pick a spot here and start laying in my mesh. I think I'm going to do finished edges to the inside and outside. So this is going to take a lot of mesh, but that's okay. And I'm just twisting it in these pine needles. And I think, well, I might leave those up because we might add ribbon tails there. Okay, so then I'm going to go pink. And again, to do my, some people when they do these bases, they just let the ends curl in like this and then just gather it together like that. You could do that also. I'm not sure if I showed, might have been out of the view of the camera. Curl the ends in like this. They just let them roll in and then they just scrunch it together like that. And you could do that too. I just prefer the neatness of the look of the cruffle and feel like it protects my cut edges better. So I'm going to go ahead, roll the first end, put a clip on it, turn it away from me. And you guys see this? You need to work on this side. Turn the curl that I just made away from me, curl the other end. Turn it over face down, and then scrunch right up the middle. Pinch the two sides together, and that's how I make my cruffles. And I'm just going to go around here, laying it in right next to the next one, or the last one. Twist the pine needle around it. And get my next one ready. And it will be blue. And I'm just repeating the same process for every piece of mesh all the way around.
Because there were paramedics on scene for another reason. The parent that I spoke to a short time ago told me that there was a child there that was having maybe some kind of an allergic reaction, something relatively minor, but the paramedics were at the school, so they're attending to a student, and then shots rang out, and that's why they were able to administer.
Okay, now these I had already made into curls. So I'm just going to grab a couple of those, crisscross them across each other, and put them in the next pipe cleaners.
Hopefully we get another briefing this afternoon. But that same parent is the one who told me we had no idea that there were kids on this campus that were being searched for weapons, that they had behavioral problems.
Okay. And now I'm just going to start my collar rotation all over again. Back to yellow.
That is an update that was never shared with these parents. So there are a lot of questions. I will say the parent I spoke to was not happy and related. There are a lot of parents there on the scene are very angry right now, learning about this behavioral safety plan that they knew.
If anybody's watching, make sure to tell me hi. Even if I can't see the comments now, I will definitely respond to you after. Let me know if you're on here. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them after. Okay, so now we're going to do pink. And I told you the types of mesh that I'm using, but you could use any type of mesh to do this, because this mesh is just basically a filler for the base of our design. We're going to put a sign and big bows and stuff on top. So you wouldn't necessarily have to have these exact types of mesh. And of course, you're the designer, you could even vary the colors. I just kind of went with the colors that were in my sign. And the sign doesn't have yellow in it, but one of my bicycles was yellow. So that's the reason I decided to add yellow. And I don't know if I have enough mesh cut up, so that's why I have all these rolls laying here, just to make sure I have enough. So now we need the curls again.
Make sure that they didn't have any weapons today, was just the day. What goes into ensuring that students get checked every day?
So I think it's important to point out that this particular student had a safety plan specific to him. Because of previous challenges, I think.
And I'm just working on these outside pine branches now. I'm going to come back around and do the inside. I'm going to try to make this design so that we don't see any of the pine branches when we're done.
Prior to this day, and nothing had been recovered from this particular person, so that safety plan had been working. Today, for whatever reason, the person did have a weapon that he drew.
Oh shoot, I forgot to turn off my TV. Give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna run over there and turn that off.
Okay. So that was the police chief there, Ron Thomas, talking to a local reporter on the ground, and really, John, detailing that safety plan that the school has set in place, where they do regular checks of some students. He very specifically acknowledged the suspect at large still as having a safety condition or reasoning for specific to him, and he's.
Okay, I'm not used to working in my kitchen, so I keep forgetting about the TV. Okay, so yellow and then pink. I think I'm ready for a warehouse, you all, like a whole separate workspace. My house is full. I got wreaths everywhere, flowers everywhere, mesh everywhere, ribbon everywhere. And the more I organize, the worse it gets. Okay. Now we need blue. I think I'm going to run a sale this weekend too to maybe help move some of this stuff so I can free up some space for new designs. My favorite part of all of it, designing. And I'm not using all of these pine needles, I'm just picking the next two. You know, picking two of them that are next to the one I just laid in. So there's some under here, you know, that I'm not putting mesh in. Pink, blue. Time for a couple curls. That's got some fraying on it. That will happen when you use mesh and then redo your design. The more you handle mesh, the more that it frays. Okay. So now we're back to yellow. Wish I could see better and see the screen, but I can't. My vision is, I'm due for an eye exam, so my vision is not the greatest right now. And that phone screen is so little. Okay. Yellow, now pink. No, I said pink and then I picked up yellow. And this pine base is definitely not my favorite to work with. I like the ones that have the double wires, the double rings. But the price on this was really good, so of course I just grabbed it. I think I got 75% off and it was regularly $6, so that's a pretty good price to have a base. And I do like the fact that I can make it into an oval shape. And like I said, if this inside, which I'm thinking now, I should have probably started on the inside pine needles. But if this is not full enough, I do have a trick to where I can fill that in more. And a couple more curls. And we're back to the yellow. This is a small one because it was the end of the roll, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. I don't like to waste mesh. Materials just cost too much. Pink. We're definitely going to have to cut some more mesh, and hopefully I laid enough out here. Pink and blue. And a couple curls. Oh, that doesn't want to cut. Yellow. One more over here that got caught. Oh, and now my light went off. Thank you guys for the sprinkles, liking and heart and stuff like that. All helps me when I'm live. I really appreciate that. I can see those every now and then going up on the screen. I just can't read those comments or even see if there's any there. Okay, and this was the end of the roll too, so it's a little extra long. That won't affect anything either, so we're gonna just go ahead and use it. Put a little extra mesh in there. This will be a pretty big wreath when we're done. I forgot, let's see, this was a 24-inch pine wreath that I started with. And of course we're extending it, you know, by bringing our mesh out this way, so it's going to be pretty big and pretty long. So blue. I'm gonna probably use some of the pretty florals that I got. I don't know if anybody seen my post yesterday, but I ordered some florals from Greenery Market. It was my first time ordering with them, and their stuff is absolutely stunning, and their prices are great. I will probably order all my florals and greenery from them going forward. I used to get some stuff at the Dollar Tree, and I would get Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby was my go-to, but I'm tired of chasing their sales schedule because my bank deposits never seem to coordinate with when they put their stuff that I need on sale. And so finding Greenery Market for me is a blessing. And it's a way I can support another small business. So that's just another plus to it. All right, I'm going to cut up some more mesh real quick. Start here with the yellow. And I didn't bring my board to measure. I forgot to grab that. So I'm just going to guesstimate my sizes. Probably do, I do 4 of each color. I think that'll get us around both the inside and the outside. Okay. And some blue. It's wanting to curl up. That's where the cardboard that I wrap it around to measure helps, because it also keeps it straight. A little bit easier to cut. I'm also not a big fan of cutting them one at a time. I like to do 6 at a time. Okay, so we're done with that one. Now this one, I've got my board here to measure the size for the curls. Since I started with curls, I'm going to stay consistent with curls. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Since I'm putting 2 curls in each bunch, I need 8 to equal the same as the 4 that I cut of the other colors. It's a little bit hot in my house today. It's chilly outside though, not freezing like it has been, but chilly. Okay, and then we're gonna need some pink. I have this roll, it's a little bit different, but it's like a metallic pink, and it has just a little bit left on it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to use this up. I think it'll look fine, because we're putting so much on top of this. I don't think it'll notice. Well, we were gonna do that, but guys, there's only 2 pieces. So I guess we won't. Or maybe I'll use these 2 pieces on the inside and cut 2 pieces of the other one. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then I can use up this little bit of mesh and get rid of this roll. think we're ready to, hopefully ready to finish the mesh. Okay, so we are back to yellow. I got a big old pile there. Even with my huge kitchen counter, for some reason, I still seem to not have enough room. Okay, here we go. Keep doing cruffles, going all the way around. Except I lost my clip. Same thing on the other end. And since I wasn't measuring these pieces, I did err on the side of longer than shorter, and I can tell by looking at them when I cruffle them that I did get them longer, and that's okay. I just didn't want them to be too short. I usually measure. I'm not much of a freestyler. Okay, so we'll do this pink on this outside, and I'm going to use these two that are different on the inside. Okay, and after pink comes blue. Just drop my mesh on the floor. I'm really just rolling today. I didn't get to do any creating the last 2 days, so I was kind of eager to do this and get on here, and kind of missed a couple steps in preparing. And now again, I'm just twisting them into pine needles, and I'm just making this really full, laying the next one right in, right beside the previous one. Okay, now we need curls, and I'll actually get to show you how I made those curls, since the first ones we did were already rolled up. They're real simple. You just start rolling it and just keep rolling all the way to the end. I'm going to put my clip on that one and roll another one. And you can do entire wreath designs with curls. They're very pretty, very full. I have not done one in a while, but that's definitely something that I should probably do. I know that my next time I do a different design, it's going to be the pancake method though, because I've had requests for that, so I actually have been working on a design for that. Okay, so then we need yellow. I'm going to put those two yellows real close together. So I think I'm going to skip the yellow here, because I basically would have yellow and then pink and then yellow. I'm going to skip the yellow, and I'm just going to go ahead and go pink and blue. Just try to keep my colors spread out the best I can. And yellow is such a bold pop of color, it would be really obvious that I had two close together there. Push these down under those, and then I'm going to squeeze one more blue in there. Now this one I kind of cut on the small size. That's why I don't like to do it without measuring. And I'm just pushing those down in there so that they're layered the same way. end of that frayed off. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna start digging around and finding 2 pine needles. I'm just gonna open them up. Open up a couple to get started with. Well, let's see. I'm right between the blue and the rainbow here. I have a yellow. I guess I'll just start with pink there. A lot of this middle is not going to be as important because it's going to be covered. I'm going to put the sign in the middle, and I think I'm going to do the bicycles on each side and then those at the top and the bottom. And then we're going to have lots of florals. I think we're going to have lots. We'll see. I really don't decide on florals till I get my design together and start looking at how they lay and how they look. And then I'm going to turn these actually and put my finished edges to the right and the left. So basically both of these are going to push back towards the inside. And I'm not going to be adding ribbon tails in here, so I'm going to twist these around and then I'm just going to push them down out of my way. Kind of squeeze them to hold that mesh secure. And then come over here and find my next 2. And I'm not using every pine needle again. I'm just laying so that the mesh will lay right next to the last one. Okay, so we've got pink. What is after pink? Blue. And this one's a little on the long side. I definitely cannot cut without measuring. Good thing this is just the base and you're not going to really see all of that. On the plus side, the bigger, longer pieces will fill in more faster. So if you're doing this wreath design or something similar on your own, that's something to think of. Okay, and I'm just pushing it down and squeezing it again. Secure that mesh. There it is. Okay, and so after the blue is yellow. I didn't even put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I know I can see comments. Hi, I think that's Twyla. Hi. Where did I get the mesh from? I think that's what I'm reading. The yellow and blue that I'm using both came from BB Crafts. And the multicolor spring one and the pink one came from craftoutlet.com. I need better, I know my vision has changed so much since my last eye exam. I'm sure I need better bifocals, and then my distance vision is certainly different. It's changed. I need to prioritize that. I tend to ignore the things that I don't really want to do, but it's getting pretty bad. I really need to get to the eye doctor. Okay, pink. Oh, I messed up, but that's okay. We're going to run with it. Okay, so I should have done this multicolor where I put the yellow on, then the yellow. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the multicolor next. And I'm going to just do the rolls, the curls, like we did around the outside. Most of this mesh on the inside, like I said, is going to be covered up anyway, so it's really just serving as a filler and a base for the rest of your design. So I'm not going to worry too much about this boo-boo. some fraying going on there. Using pine wreaths as your base definitely gives you a much fuller overall design than just using the metal frame with the pipe cleaners. Of course, it also uses a lot more of the material. So if you're wanting to make big designs, this 24-inch pine base is the way to do that. I have only recently started working on them. I mean, I worked on them during Christmas time, but Christmas only. And then I've seen other crafters making these beautiful designs on the pine bases for all seasons. And I thought, my goodness, that is such a fabulous idea. And I have tons of them that I bought on clearance. I was planning to save for next Christmas. And I thought, shoot, who needs to wait till Christmas? We just use them now. Plus, it also helps me with my storage issue if I'm using them now as opposing to wait clear to December. Because I work out of my house, you guys. I have a 10 by 20 storage building, and then I have a spare room. The building and the spare room are full. I have the little office space where I normally go live. It's full. And as you can see, I'm on the counter, and all my flowers are over here in the dining room area. So I've definitely got a space issue. And a patient husband, fortunately. Okay. Now let's try to get this right. Pink, then blue. He's very supportive. He's the one who actually encouraged me to start doing lives and doing more with my business to expand it. So he deserves all that credit. I would probably have just been content to just keep making my wreaths and selling a few here and a few there. But I'm really enjoying the social media and going live and helping everybody. So it's given it a new spark, a new interest for me. So pink, blue, and then the multicolor. Try to get it back on the right rotation. And after the multicolor is yellow. I might still not have enough mesh cut up. So you can see that this, using this pine base has already used double the amount of mesh that I would use on the 14-inch wireframe that you've seen me typically do. And that design gives you about a 24 to 26-inch size wreath. This is going to be probably 30 plus inches this way and probably 24 this way. So it's going to be quite a bit bigger. And if I had left it in a circle, you know, the overall would have been even more. The width, I mean, would be more. Okay, so how much further do we have to go? Need at least one more pink. I'm just going to cut these as I use them to avoid having extra pieces of mesh laying around. Lord knows I have enough of those already. And I was trying to use up those ones that I had from a previous design that I ended up not liking and redoing. Mesh is sticking together, so I'm just kind of forcing it to go down in there and lay the way that I want it to. And then just kind of fluffing it out, making it stand up. So pink and then blue. Okay, after blue is multicolored. Said I had cut the same number of pieces, but somehow I ended up with one extra multicolor and one extra yellow. Unless I dropped them off the counter on the other side, which is entirely possible. Another string there. Okay, and we're back to yellow. We're almost to the end here. Right here's where I started on the inside. Okay, and then pink is supposed to be next, but we have pink right here. So, what color am I gonna do? I think, shoot, probably blue. Let's see. We'll just do blue. It's gonna be covered by the sun, I think, anyway. This will be our last piece of mesh, unless I decide I want to fill that middle in some more. I'm gonna lay my sign on there and see what it looks like and what happens. If it's sinking down in there, I'm gonna fill in this middle with more mesh. And I will show you how I do that. It's a trick that I learned some time ago. One thing that you can do, if I had left this in a round shape, if you have a big hole in the middle of the one that you're using, you can attach a splatter screen to the back of it with the mesh in it, and then just feed zip ties through it and fill it in that way. But I won't be able to do that with this because I got an oval shaped design, and I actually think I need one more piece of mesh in there. So I'm going to do the multicolor. I was wrong when I said it's almost done. And I'm just going to do this one as a cruffle. This is really pretty and sparkly. The multicolor mesh and the pink mesh are called quad weave, and both of them have like a metallic look running through them. I'm not sure if that really shows up on the camera, but they're very pretty. And then the blue and yellows, those colors are really bold and real pretty. Now that's nice and full. All right, let's get our sign and see what we think. Oh, yeah, that's going to be plenty sufficient to hold that sign up. We're not going to need to fill in that middle. Real quick though, because I did mention it, if I was going to fill this middle in with more, say that I was putting a bunny or something smaller than this sign here, and I wanted some more mesh to fill in here, I use these really large zip ties, and I turn it over, and I run around. This is a single ring. Now when you have the double ring pine base, you're not going to have to do this because you'll have plenty of mesh to fill in your whole middle. But this is a trick for the single ring. I put this one in, put this one on this side, and then I zip tie them together. So I would push this into this end and this into this end. And then I take pipe cleaners or zip ties and I just cut my pieces of mesh and I go all the way across these twist ties. And then if you have a really big oval, what I would probably do here is 2 sets of these. I would do one up here and one right about here. And that would fill that in entirely for you. So we're not going to have to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and attach our sign. I'm going to shoot for right in the middle. This sign came from Craft Outlet. It is super cute. And then I haven't shown you any of the ribbons yet, but I'm going to go ahead and show you this one, because they also have this ribbon that is a perfect match to that sign. I thought that was so adorable. The flowers and the bite, everything matches. So we're going to use that. And then this is one of those thicker wood signs. So the way that I attach my pipe cleaners is I use E6000 glue, put that down first, put hot glue over top of it, and use some type of fabric or material and push down on it to secure the pipe cleaners, and they will not come loose with that glue combination. Just make sure you let it all set up before you use your sign. Okay, I'm going to try to get this right in the middle. Okay, and take my pipe cleaners and feed them down, and I'm going to try to find the ring that all the pine needles are attached to, and I'm going to try to attach to that. And hopefully I won't have to extend my pipe cleaners, but I might. Okay, no, I think they're going to work. They're going to just barely be long enough. And so I'm just wrapping around the ring of the base of the frame. I'm going to twist it a bunch of times to make sure it's secure. And then I'm actually going to go diagonal to attach next so that I can make sure my sign is where I want it to be and that it stays straight. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to feed down through all this mesh again and find the ring. I'm burning up in here today. I'm gonna have to go outside and cool down when I'm done, you guys. Okay. It's barely long enough. I keep losing my grip. Okay. And I'm pulling down slightly on the sign. I don't want to pull too hard because I want to sink it down in, make it look like it's down inside. I want it to kind of float on top. I'm twisting a bunch of times. And then I push the ends of my pipe cleaners up inside so that the wires don't injure me or somebody else. And now I'll do these two corners. And I really packed that mesh in tight. Hopefully I can get down through there. This also has a whole lot of pine branches on it, so that's also making it hard. Even though it's only a single ring, it is loaded with pine branches. Another string. Another string. Sheesh. Okay, that one is ready. One more. Okay, so this is what we have so far. It's really, not sure if you can see, but it is humongous. And we're gonna start adding, you can still see a lot of these pine branches. I didn't push them down as I went because I was going to see about maybe adding the ribbons in here and then pushing it down. If I don't like how that turns out though, I may push those down and then zip tie my ribbons in, because I want to ensure that the pine is not showing. Pine is not exactly ideal for spring or summer design, so I do not want that showing. So I am using, I made a mess out of them, the bicycle ribbon that I showed you. This is from craftoutlet.com, 2.5 inches. I think I forgot to tell you guys too, my mesh pieces were cut to 16 to 17 inches, except for those ones I did at the end, and they're varying. And then I'm also using this pink with white roses or some type of flowers that to me really reminded me of the flowers on the sign. It's 1.5 inch, also came from Craft Outlet. And then I am using 3 solids. I have the yellow, the bright pink, and the blue. And all three of these were part of the Sam's Club collection. So they're available at Sam's Club, and they're 1.5 inches wide. All of my ribbon tails are cut to 13 inches long. Okay. So I'm going to lay a couple of these in using the pine branches and then see if I think that's going to cover those enough. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to start pushing them down, and I'm going to literally zip tie all my ribbons in. Okay. Let me decide what order I'm going to put these in. So we'll start with the bike, the blue, pink. No, that's not going to work. Hello. Okay. Yeah, I think that's how we'll do it. Okay, so I'm just going to start right here. Just pick a spot. I'm scrunching my ribbon tails up the middle, and I'm only doing one in each section. And I'm basically going back into the pine needles that I used to attach the mesh. I'm going to twist that ribbon in, and then I'm going to push it down inside and see. Yeah, I think that's probably going to give me enough coverage, only I didn't get it even, so I got to straighten it out. Okay, let's just try a couple more here and see what happens. I think that's going to give us good enough coverage, though. Okay, so we did the bike. Next is the blue. I'm just scrunching up the middle, folding it back towards myself, making sure these ends are even, pinching it in my fingers like that, and then laying it in. And I'm just going to rotate these collars all the way around. Still got a little bit of greenery showing there, but I think that's going to be fine once we get them all put in and the mesh all spread out. So yeah, we'll go ahead and add them to the pine needles. And after the blue, I'm doing the pink floral. No rhyme or reason to that. I did have two pinks, the solid pink and then this pink, so I just wanted to make sure I had some other colors between them. Other than that, there's really no rhyme or reason to the order I decided on. We're going to be adding greenery and flowers too, which is also going to help cover up any of this pine that might be still showing after we put in our ribbons. So after the pink floral is yellow. And this is just going to give us ribbon tails spraying outward from our design all the way around. And I am curling, like I push in next to where I attach the ribbon and just curl these outward and arc, give them like an arch down. And a lot of times with this 1.5 inch ribbon, you can just run it between your fingers like that and it'll automatically give you that effect. Okay, so after the yellow, it's the hot pink. Oh, I hate that I can't see your comments, guys. I'm so sorry. Hopefully, I might go live again today, and hopefully by that time my computer will be charged back up. Signed up for a business coaching class and was doing that last night, and my battery died, and I forgot to plug it in. Okay, so now we're back to the bicycle. I'm not going to be putting any ribbon tails in the middle because we're going to do the two bows. I think we're going to do 2 fabulous bows. And I'm just twisting this ribbon in. I'm trying to twist it 3 times if I can. And then I'm just pushing those ends down inside and squeezing them. Okay, next is the blue. I didn't start this design ahead of time, and I'd like for you guys to leave me a comment giving me some feedback, because I've had some people message me, like when I did the garland, I had it halfway done so that we wouldn't be on live forever, and it still ended up being more than 2 hours because those garlands do take so long. But I would like some feedback from you guys. They wanted me to start at the beginning instead of having it halfway done and then showing you by finishing it how I did it. So if you guys could let me know like your opinion on that. For extra long projects, would you like me to start right from the very beginning, or would you like me to start it with part of it completed and just show you how I finished? And then the other option would be for long projects, the garland, for example. I could do that like in a 2-part series. So I could do the whole thing on live, but not in one live. So it would be like one day and then finish it the next day. So give me some feedback on that and let me know. Even if you're watching on replay later, let me know what your all's preference is, because I want to try to make sure I'm doing what's helpful to you guys. You know, I had some feedback before that you know, people don't want to sit there forever on live and, you know, just get to the point and get it done. So I'm just trying to figure out what would be best for the majority. Okay, so next after the flower is our yellow. And I'm doing this one on live. It's gonna take me for a little bit. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me while I do this. Hopefully it'll be worth it and you guys will learn some stuff, some tips and tricks and different things that you can use. Okay, now we need the dark pink. And this is already getting really full and pretty. And these Sam's Club ribbons, 50 yards for less than $8, you guys. So if you can find them at Sam's, everybody, I promise you, every wreath maker you watch or see, at some point you're going to see them using Sam's Club ribbon. It's good quality. Most of it is good quality, and the price is unbeatable. So if you can find some ribbon at Sam's, they do a spring collection, and then they also do Christmas time. Okay, so we're back to the bicycle. The other thing about Sam's is if you go into the store and buy it, is they have a display that has a sample of each of their rolls of ribbon. So you can actually feel and touch and learn see what the ribbon is like on the roll before you actually purchase it, which I love, because sometimes I'll see a ribbon and think that it would be useful to me. And then when I actually check the sample, I'm like, oh, that's sheer. I really don't use sheer, or that's not the right texture or thickness. Okay, so next is blue. What do I have? Oh, okay, so actually this is the next one. Need to go in right there. back to the pink floral. And you can also get a better, from the samples, a better idea of color, because when you have a roll that has 50 yards of ribbon on it, that roll will look different, a different color or shade than it does when it's off of the roll. And I love that too. Okay. And I went with the light pink on the mesh on this, but the dark pink on the ribbons, because in the sign, the florals are a dark pink. But then the matching ribbon has light pink polka dots in the back and light pink edging. So that's why I went with both. Yellow. When I do my designs, I almost always, well not, I always base it off of my sign. And then I try to find a coordinating ribbon, like the ribbon that's going to be what I call my primary ribbon, the one that matches my sign the best, which in this case, Craft Out, it's almost like they designed the sign to go with the ribbon or vice versa. So that bicycle is my primary, and then I have the flowers, so chose that for my secondary. And then from there, I just try to match my colors to my primary ribbon, my sign, and then in this case I added the yellow because I really wanted to attach the yellow bicycle. I thought it was cute. And I like, now that it's coming together, I like the pop of the yellow color that brightens it up. So now we're doing the solid pink again. I'll tell you, these branches are really strong too for a $5.98 Walmart wreath. I'm having a hard time pushing them down in there and folding them down. Okay, after the pink, we're back to the bicycle. And I'm just doing one ribbon in each section. Sometimes I do two. You'll see a lot of people do two. But I felt like in this case I was using 5 different ribbons, so not exactly an even number to match up in sets. And then also, I just feel like when you do 2, you get a lot of overlapping and you don't even see half of your ribbon ends. So that's the reason I chose to do 1. Had an extra branch and it was just sticking up in the middle there. So I just pushed it under out of the way. After the bike is the blue. I always check too to make sure that you know, all of my ribbons are showing. So like for example, this blue was covering up the bike and the pink was covering up the bike, so I just switched those so that both are showing. Okay, and then next is our flower. there's another branch sticking right up in the middle, so I'm going to push that down. I don't know how that happened. Okay, and now we need yellow. I think we're getting, yeah, we're getting close to back to the beginning. And then we'll make our bows. Now I do still have, like, you can kind of see like a little bit of greenery, but we're going to be filling in, or a little bit of the pine, we're going to be filling in with greenery and flowers and stuff, so we'll take care of all of that with that stuff. Okay, back around, let's see, we need solid pink. It was a little bit uneven, so I just pulled it through to even it up. And then we're back to our bicycle. Okay, and blue. Telling myself these colors, you guys, so I don't get confused, mess up my pattern, because in this instance it would matter, because this is the outside of the wreath design, and it would be noticeable if I messed up that pattern, because it's going to be visible. Okay, my flower. Yay, we're getting there. Yellow. Dark pink. Looks like I cut almost the right amount of ribbon. Okay. Figure out where this goes. Right here. And then we got our bicycles kind of close here, but that's okay. Let's see, we need 2 more. So it's going to be blue. And then the floral. So yeah, I only had 2 extra pieces of ribbon. That's pretty good guessing. Now I'm really being rough with you guys, like squeezing these needles and pushing them down where I want them to be. Okay, so this is what we have. Pull this mesh out because I pushed it all in kind of when I was adding the ribbon tails. Pluck all that out. Cut off our piece of fray here. Okay guys, and here's what it looks like with all the ribbon tails going around. I'm not even sure if you can see the whole thing in the camera angle. It's pretty large. Okay, so I am going to get the bow maker here. Lay this on the chair. Lord, y'all, my chair's not even big enough. Okay, it's gonna have to go back here on the table. I'll put the mesh over on the chair. I'm probably the messiest crafter you'll ever watch too. Okay, so we've got our bicycle, our flower, and then our 3 solids. So that's what we're going to be using. I'm going to start with the bicycle, and I'm going to make the bottom bow first. It's going to be our biggest. Okay. Make sure I have plenty of this. Pretty sure we have enough. So I'm going to make this tail probably 10 inches, 12 inches. I think I'm going to do 12 inches on the tail. We twist it there where it goes down inside of our bow maker. Okay, we're doing that to keep our pretty side up. When we come back around with our loops, and I'm going to do probably 6-inch loops. Twist it in the middle again. 6-inch on the other side. Twist it again because I'm going to do actually 4, 2 on each side. Okay. And I'm just making them the same size, 6 inches on each side, both of them. I'm going to pull this down and match it to my tail to cut it off. Oops. we still have plenty of that to make our bow for the top, so that's good. Okay, now, very quickly, I wanted to show you guys this. On this side, my loops, the bicycle is right side up, but on this side, my bicycle is upside down. So I'm going to fix that, and the way that you fix that is you just take this whole loop and turn it. And now the bicycles are right side up. I just want to make sure I get this straightened out here in the middle after I turn it. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one on the bottom. Turn it. Make sure that it's nice and straightened out. And now my bicycles are right side up on both sides. And we're ready to do our next ribbon, which I'm gonna do that on the top. So I think I'm gonna do the dark pink next. I'm going to dovetail my end to start with. Okay, and again, I want a long tail. So I'm going to make it just about an inch shorter than the last tail. And this loop is also going to be about an inch shorter, so about 5 inches. Inches on the other side. So pull these up real quick to check. Those are pretty close. And I'm only doing one loop of the pink, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Okay, and now I'm going to do blue. Better put these pins all in one place or I'm going to end up knocking them off the counter and stepping on one. Dovetail my end. And make this tail, again, I'm just going to come up a little bit with each tail, so about a 1/2 inch shorter, maybe an inch. I'm not really measuring that. And then I'm going to do these loops the same size as the pink. So 5 inches. And 5 inches on this side. The ribbon is not wanting to go the way I want it to go. So again, I'm going to just snip it off just a little bit shorter than the pink tail. Next, I'm going to do the yellow. Once again, making the tail just a little bit shorter. I'm just creating like a layered look. This tail will also be 5 inches. So I'm going to do all 3 of these collars at 5 inches. ribbon is our floral pattern. Make sure I have plenty of it. And this might end up giving us too many tails. We'll see once we put it on the wreath. If it does, I may pull some of them up and trim them off. But we'll decide that when we get it on there. So making this one a little bit shorter than the yellow. And this time I'm going to do a 4-inch loop. So I'm going to come in again about an inch. Twist it to keep our pretty side up. Do about the same on the other side. And we're only doing one loop on each side of this as well. So I'll go ahead and pull it down. And cut it off. Okay, and then let me grab one of, I did remember to get the pipe cleaners. Let me grab one of those. We're just going to feed it down the middle. All the way, using our thumbs to hold this top together and our 4 fingers on each hand to slide under our loops on each side, and then just pull it out carefully, making sure not to let that stack slip. And then we're just going to twist real tight, and I always pull my loops forward and then twist down into the ribbon. So I'm pushing so that it's tightening around the ribbon, not twisting up this way, but down inward. Okay, and once we have that real good and secure, we'll go ahead and lay it out here and dovetail the other ends that we didn't get done. Just fold them in half long ways, cut at an angle from the folded side to the wired side. All of these ribbons are wired. I almost always work with wired ribbon. It is just easier. Okay. Okay, so I am going to even put it on the wreath before I start fluffing. So let me move all these ribbons over. We're going to do another bow, so I'm going to keep them close by. So I'm going to take the ends of the pipe cleaner and I'm going to feed them down. I want the bow to lay kind of like right under the middle of the sign. Whoops, losing my glasses. And I'm trying to get down to that wire ring if I can, because I always prefer to attach to that if I can. In this case, I'm not going to be able to. So what I'm going to do is attach onto several of those pipe or pine needles. Let's see if that's where, yep, I think that is about where I want it. So I don't want to pull my bow too tight because it'll sink down in and I'll lose all my pretty poofs and stuff in all that mesh we put on there. So I'm going to just twist it a bunch of times to secure it. I will probably end up adding some glue to this since I'm only going around the pine needles to make sure it stays. And then push the end of the pipe cleaner up. Okay, so now I just want to start fluffing, pulling my tails down, and then I'm going to fluff my loops. You guys see? Okay. All right. Well, I love the way all those tails come down, actually. They come down and they fan out, so that's pretty. And now I'm just going to separate my loops and puff them up. I always start with the loops on the bottom and then just work my way up. And with these, I'm going to do the blue to the top, the pink in the middle, and the yellow to the bottom on this side. And then on this side, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to do the yellow to the top, pink in the middle, blue to the bottom. Like that. And then spread out our 2 flowers in the middle. All right, and so there's our bow for the bottom. And now we're going to do a smaller version of this bow to put up here at the top. So let's get the bow maker back. Start with the bicycle again. Okay, now my tails this time are going to be shorter. I'm going to start with 8-inch. Just twisting the wrong way, guys. So when you twist, you keep your tail the pretty side up, and where you're going to make your loop is going to be upside down. Okay, so bring this loop back. And I think I'll start at 5 inches this time, because I do want this to be a smaller version of the bow. So 5 inches on each side. And then I think I'm only going to do 1 loop on each side. And then I'm going to cut this tail off at like 6 inches. Or no, sorry, 7 inches. So now, let's see, I think we did blue next. So I'm going to do a 7-inch tail, because I did 8 last time. I'm going to do a 4-inch loop. And I'm estimating this, you guys. Now the Easy Bow Maker does have, well, it actually is exactly 4 inches, but it has measurements up to 8 inches on each side that you can use to help make sure you get your loops the same size. I really measure my first loop and then estimate from there. Full disclosure. Okay, and I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter than that one. I think I did 7 inches on that. So this one will be about 6. Okay, and then, did I do that wrong? I think I did pink first. It's okay, it's not gonna matter. So we're gonna do pink next. And this time, I'm going to start over here because we've got 2 tails this way. I want to do the next 2 over this way. And so we need this to be 8 inches actually to match this one. That's probably real confusing, so I'm sorry for that. Okay, I'm going to make my loop the same as the blue. On both sides. Oh, need to do that. We're cutting it off. I'm gonna pull it up, cut it off pretty close to where I did the bicycle. And now we're gonna do yellow. And I'm gonna start it again this way, so we'll have two tails going each way. Oops. Need to dovetail it first. And then this one will be about an inch shorter than the pink. Again, I'm gonna do 4 inches. So the same as the pink one underneath of it. Oh, wrong way. This tail goes up. And then it's going to be about the same as the blue one. And then we have our flower ribbon. Dovetail it. And we have a pattern ribbon over here, so I'm also going to bring this one this way. Get a little bit shorter than the yellow. And then this is going to be about a 3-inch loop. So I'm coming in again about an inch. 3 inch on this side. Pull our tail up, and it's going to be about an inch shorter than the blue and the yellow ones. Okay, and we need another pipe cleaner. Okay, and I'm going to do this bow the exact same way. Give it a real tight twist, then pull it forward and keep twisting it down in toward the ribbons. Okay. Move everything out of our way. Now we may end up doing a couple more little bows because this is a massive size wreath. So it's going to need a lot of stuff, but we'll see. So I'm going to turn it upside down to make it easier for me. And then I forgot to turn my bicycles right side up, so I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, now I'm going to put a little glue on these like I said earlier. So even though I didn't twist that before we put it in the pipe cleaner, it'll still stay in position. Okay. Trying to make sure that I twisted the right one, you guys. Yes, this is the bottom. Or the top. Yes, okay. Sorry. I'm struggling today. And I think again, I'm gonna have to go around the pine needles. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. No, we're gonna be able to go around the frame this time, so that's awesome. Let's just try to make sure we're in the middle or as close as possible. And again, you don't want to pull your bow too tight because you'll sink all your loops that you just made down into that mesh and lose them. Just going to twist it a bunch of times and push the ends of the pipe cleaner up inside. Okay, and then we need to dovetail the last ends, the ones that we hadn't done as we were putting it together. This one's a little too long, so I'm going to take some length off of it when I dovetail it. Okay, let's see. Try to get this all nice and spread out. Fluff up our loops. I'm going to do the same thing with these loops. Do the blue, the pink in the middle, blue to the bottom, yellow to the top, and then the opposite on the other side. Okay. Make sure I puff them up. Spread out our flower loops here a little bit. Okay, and then there's our little bow. It's good and pretty large. Okay, and now, let's see, where did I put our bicycles? Okay, so I'm thinking blue, it doesn't really show up too well there, guys. The yellow does, but the blue doesn't. Okay, so we'll think on those for a little bit. I'm going to add in some greenery and some florals next. Let me get the glue gun heated up. So I have this beautiful, I think this was called small leaf greenery bush. This one is one of my new ones I just got from Greenery Market. So we're going to use some of that. And then I also have, how beautiful is that? It is boxwood, eucalyptus, but it has like a blue tint to it. I thought that was gorgeous. I wish I would have ordered more of this because I have several designs that have some blue in it, but I would love to use that for. So we're going to use a few pieces of that. And then we're also going to be using some of these. These are not Greenery Market, these are Dollar Tree. And it's dianthus, I guess is how you pronounce that. I liked it because I like the varying colors on the florals as well as the greenery. So we're going to use some of the greenery and the florals off of that. And then we have some other flowers over here we're going to be using too. We're going to use, this did come from Greenery Market. It's an aqua colored flower. And then here is another one that has some greenery and aqua mixed in. Very, very pretty. Both of those are from Greenery Market. And then I have some of these pink and yellow flowers that I had gotten from the Dollar Tree. I got the Dollar Tree ones for this wreath before my Greenery Market order came, so that's the reason. And these are zinnias, which for Dollar Tree flowers, they're really pretty. I really like their zinnias. What's this one? This one's different, I think. Yeah, this is aster. So this one's aster, this one's zinnia. So we'll probably be using some of those. Get the glue gun heated up. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and start cutting some of this greenery. Guys, I'm sorry this wreath has taken so long, but it's massive, really beyond my control. Now, I know I have my wire cutters here for sure. There they are. I buried them with florals. Okay. So I'm going to start just by cutting a couple stems off of this bush. This is the Greenery Market bush. This wire is very good wire. I might have to get a little bit bigger pair of wire clippers. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so these are not sliders, but we can still cut this into little bunches, which is what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna make 3 little bunches out of one branch. So let's see. There's one. And then this one would be 2. Yep. I'm gonna do it right here, which will make this 2. And then this one will be 3. And those are still pretty good size. So that's awesome. Okay, 1. 2, 3. All right, let's go ahead and stick some of these in. I don't think we need that stem to be quite that long, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. And I did not get my finger protector, so you're probably gonna see me get burnt. Hopefully I do not curse on camera. Okay, so I'm just going around and sticking these in. Do some random spacing because I'm going to be using different kinds of greenery. So let's just see. Boy, you guys, this is the quality. I just cannot even say enough about the quality. I mean, even cutting one branch into 3 pieces, look how bold that is. I am loving my new find. Okay, do this one right in here. Right in there. Now I think, of course I'm going to have a big old glue mess, so I apologize for that. Of course I stuck my finger in hot glue, guys, already. I think I'm going to go in between those pieces of greenery and add a little piece of my blue that I'm loving so much. I just love this blue eucalyptus. When I go back on there, I'm definitely getting more of this. And look and see if they have other colors. Like, that is just so pretty. Okay. This is not a slide. Oh, it is a slider. So I am going to slide that up. That will be one piece. I'm just going to cut this off down here. So 2 pieces on each stem, and I'm going to trim this because I don't really need that to be that long. Okay. I love that this is a slider too. So now I can just push that up and make a bunch. Cut it off down here and have 2 bunches. Make this a little bit shorter. Okay. Let's put these in. So pretty. And I'm just using 4 of these for now, and I'm going in between each of the other pieces of greenery that I added. Ouch. And I do use a lot of glue, because I want to make sure these florals are not coming out. Which is also how I get burnt so badly. Okay. Let's stick this one right in there. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, so let's take a look at what these will look like with it. These are sliders. Now these are Dollar Tree, so not nearly as much per branch, but still very pretty. I'll just cut this. I'm gonna push all the sliders up and just make them one bunch. So I'll go ahead and cut them all off. I think there's gonna be 6 total. Cut this tag off. Okay. So I think I'm just going to come in and place. I'm going to go ahead and place these, you guys, before I commit to gluing. Because I want to make sure I'm going to actually like it. Kind of like that. I think that's looking pretty good so far. So let's go ahead and cut up some of these yellows. The yellows will look nice and pretty. And these are the same type, so they're sliders. I'm just going to push them up to make bunches. Just don't push them up too far, or you'll push them off the end. If you're using sliders. Okay. So let's see. think I'm gonna just come in between each of the pinks and put a pop of yellow. Boy, there's a lot of mesh on here. There we go. So like that. Okay, and again, right in here. Maybe right here. And I'm just putting these flowers right here in this inside mesh. I'm gonna come back around with some more of them and do on the outside too. But for right now, I'm just trying to see how I want to decorate all this mesh here. Okay. And I like these little flowers. I think they're looking good. So there. Oh, and up here. So kind of do this one maybe right at the corner of the sign. Okay. And now I'm going to just start adding some of these little ones in between or around these pieces of greenery on the outside. You know, I might actually, hold on a second. I'll pop one of these off here and see if I should put it coming out of the greenery. Like flowers growing out of the greenery. Or if I should just go in between them. Now I kind of like it looking like it's growing out of the greenery. It's on there. So, let's see if I can pop this off of there. So let me show you, I'll turn this around so you can see what I did. So I just took one piece of this flower and popped it off. So now I have basically two flowers with two little pieces of greenery. And then I just stuck it inside of the greenery that I had already put on there. So now it looks like a bushel of greenery with two flowers growing out of it. And then those flowers match, of course, what we did up here on the top. So it kind of ties it all together. Okay, so I'm going to do that same thing on this side. Well, that doesn't want to slide off. There we go. So we can put these back here. Okay. And then I need some of that pink that we did, also going around the outside. So let's see how I decide to do this. And then we also have the blues that we're going to add in. I might not use those big flowers, you guys. I'm kind of liking just the little ones. That's the thing with me and flowers, and also something I worry about on live is I never decide how my flowers are going to be until I'm finishing my design, because it's like the finishing touch. So I kind of have to see all the rest of it all together before I commit to what I'm going to do with these flowers. All right, I want to first see what it will look like if I do two pink flowers coming out of that greenery. the greenery that has like the blue tint to it. No, I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to take these bunches, leave them just as they are. Is this the right one? Yes. So. And just stick them in. And I'm going to go in between the blue eucalyptus and the greenery bunches that I did. I'll probably go ahead and glue these as I go. I have one there. I really think that's enough there. I'm going to stick one bunch up here coming out from under my bow. At this point with these, I think I'm just going to stick them not necessarily in any type of pattern, but just where it's empty and looks like it could use something, like for example under my bow here. Bunch here. Trying to make sure I remember to glue these as I go around. We're almost done. I still haven't decided where to put the bicycles, because I did not like the way that they kind of just blended in with everything. Pink right here. Oops. And we need some pink right here. Okay, now I might take a little bit more of the yellow. I think I used all the pink. I have to get another stem of pink. Actually, let's do some blue before we do that with the yellow. Which ones do I want to use? I think these might overpower the others, so I'm going to use the littler ones. And let's see. These are sliders, so I can push those up. Let me decide how I want to place them in, because we've got florals, we've got berries, greenery. So let me see if I want to do them as bunches or spread them out. Okay, yeah, I think I like bunches. That's very pretty. We're going to go ahead and just glue that one in there. Spread that out. Get us some blue mixed throughout. flower did come from Greenery Market. Oh, some of these stems have different things on them though. Like this one here is mostly flowers. Might stick that coming out of the top of the bow there. Another bunch like that first one I did, so I'm gonna put it right in here. So we have two kind of pops of blue on each side, and then we've got one up there at the top. I'm gonna turn it around here. We're gonna do a couple on this side. And we're almost done, guys, I promise. And that's what I meant by be careful. You'll pop them right off the top. We definitely need something coming right there, so we're gonna put some blue there. Actually might use the longer flowers there, but I think I'm gonna put this right here. One more smaller set. I had the hardest time finding aqua blue flowers, and honestly the only place I found them was at the Greenery Market, because I have another sign that has aqua blue in it that I wanted to use them for. So they not only have good quality product, good price, but they also have some hard to find items. Okay, I really love that. What do you guys think? I think that size floral is working wonderfully with this design. I'm going to put a blue right there because we kind of got a gap. Filled that in perfectly. Mix it with the blue or with the pink. Okay, so that is that side, and I think I'm pretty good with that side. Let me take a look over here. We got something we need here. So probably fill some blue in there too, since we did on that side. I let my glue gun cool down some so it wouldn't keep dripping and burning me. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Okay, yeah, I think I like that. I do want to take this yellow flower, and again, I'm going to pull these little flowers off, and then there's also a piece of greenery on it. I'm going to pull those off, and I'm going to glue just some little pieces coming out of my bows. So here's the greenery from the ones we used earlier. Okay, so let's see. like that. Put one over on this side. And then I'm going to take a couple of these yellow flowers. And it just kind of ties it together and makes your florals look like they're not only coming out of your wreath design, but also out through your bow. Let's turn this around and add some to this bow up here and figure out where I'm going to put the bicycle, and I think we're about done. Whoops. And what did I do with my yellow flowers? No, that's the blue. Here's the yellow. Okay. Well, let me figure out if I'm even going to add these bicycles. I thought that was such a genius idea, but now that I've got my design together, I'm not so sure. Well, I don't know, that looks cute. Like it's sitting in the middle of a flower garden. Let's see. Maybe what I'm going to have to do is use 2 yellow bikes instead of the blue. The blue just blends in too much. Maybe if I set it across this yellow. Okay, so this is how, I'm not going to attach them on live, but I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to attach them. I am going to add the little bicycles. I'm going to use a zip tie. I'll attach this one because I'm going to definitely use it. I think I'm going to switch this blue one out for another yellow one. But the way that I'm going to attach it is I'm going to reach under here. I'm going to feed my zip tie through a piece of mesh that is underneath. And I'm using a piece of the firm mesh that's going to hold good. Going through several layers of it. And then I'm just going to pull it up. Wrap it around the ring that leads into the tire here so that it will be hidden. I'm literally just going to zip tie that down there. And then I'll do one probably down here, or probably actually right in here. I'll do one there as well. So I usually attach everything at least at 2 points. So that's why these bikes are not heavy. You could possibly get away with one, but I feel like if it got caught on something, it might cause some damage. So I'm going to just zip tie it again, right down here at the bottom. Make sure I got a hold of several layers of mesh. Okay, and now our bike is on there pretty good and sturdy. It's not moving around. And I'm going to attach one right on this other side, but I'm gonna do a yellow one. So that is our finished design. Let you guys make sure you leave me a comment and let me know what you think. If you hung out with me this entire time, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you again real soon.